All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're breaking down a really fascinating personality theme known as connectedness to understand exactly how it functions in the workplace. If you have ever wondered why certain people on your team naturally seem to see these invisible threads tying everyone and everything together, well, you are in the right place. We are going to look closely at what actually drives this trait, how it benefits a team, and of course where it can occasionally stumble. To truly grasp this trait, we really need to start with its core metaphor, which is this profound belief that life is inherently interconnected and that people, experiences, and systems cannot actually be separated. It's not just a passing, fleeting thought for these individuals. It's practically their fundamental operating system. They look at the world and they see mind, body, and spirit as completely whole.
Think of this source material like a psychological blueprint. We're going to decode what this strength actually looks like in action, and discover exactly how people with this theme activate their talents and thrive in their professional environments. Ultimately, it's about taking these high-level, almost philosophical concepts and grounding them in everyday workplace reality.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the essence of connectedness, move into their contributions and core needs, explore the balcony and basement behaviors, navigate potential blind spots, and finally see how connectedness compares to other traits. Let's get into it.
Starting us off with Section 1, the essence of connectedness.
For folks with this trait, situations are almost never isolated incidents. Instead, they naturally see relationships, meaning, and purpose woven throughout all people, experiences, and events. People with this theme have a deep, unwavering awareness that they are part of something much, much larger than themselves. When a project suddenly changes direction, they don't just see a disruption, they see an intentional pivot leading somewhere new. And this isn't just some quirky perspective. This deep awareness actually fuels a massive sense of responsibility toward others, along with immense compassion and perspective.
Moving right along to Section 2, contributions and core needs.
So, the crucial point here is that individuals with strong connectedness naturally become the bridge builders within a community. They create unity and constantly remind others they're part of something greater. When teams are fractured, or when departments are stuck working in their own little silos, this is exactly the person who steps in. They naturally seek unity and connection between people, ideas, and experiences, smoothly mending gaps that others might not even realize are there. They bring this essential wisdom and macro perspective, helping others find purpose and connection in situations that might otherwise seem completely confusing or totally isolated. They aren't just networking, they are building genuine bridges across real differences, forming deeply compassionate relationships, and helping the team see the underlying meaning behind a daily struggle. They're the ones who can look at a chaotic project or a really difficult organizational shift and help everyone else calm down and see the bigger picture. Now, if you manage someone with this trait, listen up, because this is the exact environment you must provide. They absolutely need to feel connected to meaningful people and causes greater than themselves to actually thrive. You can't just hand them a repetitive task in a vacuum and expect them to be engaged. No way. They require opportunities to build bridges. They need the freedom to make a broader impact, and they need environments that are fundamentally rooted in real purpose.
Let's pivot to Section 3. The balcony and basement. Like any personality trait, connectedness has its extreme highs and lows. We're going to explore that duality right now, contrasting its most uplifting strengths in action up on the balcony against the friction that occurs when it's unmanaged down in the basement. Every strength casts a shadow, right? And understanding how to navigate both the balcony and the basement is completely key to maximizing this trait's potential without falling into its traps.
At their absolute best on the balcony, they are incredibly calming and keep everyone grounded during uncertainty. They're a rock during hard times, bringing wisdom and unity. But let's look at the basement side. If they lean way too far into their natural tendencies, they might suffer from meaning overload. They can become totally disconnected from practical reality, appearing overly idealistic or completely vague. If you have ever had a teammate respond to a missed accounting deadline by calmly saying, "Hey, the universe has a plan," well, you've definitely witnessed the basement of connectedness. That basement dive leads us directly into Section 4, navigating potential blind spots.
So, what actually happens when we only look at the big picture? It's a really important question, because by naturally looking for deeper meaning all the time, these individuals can very easily overlook the emotional immediacy or the practical realities of the situation right in front of them. When your gaze is constantly fixed on the horizon, it is extremely easy to trip over the rock right at your feet.
Let's unpack the specific practical and emotional blind spots that managers and teammates need to be acutely aware of. And remember, recognizing these isn't about criticizing the trait. It's about providing the exact right support and complementary partnerships so the connectedness theme can truly shine.
Because they are always zoomed out, they might overlook practical action steps or appear completely passive during a conflict, often mistakenly assuming everyone else shares their worldview about unity. Imagine a teammate coming to them in a state of absolute, immediate panic over a missed deadline. The connectedness individual might respond way too philosophically, calmly talking about the grand scheme of things, which, let's be honest, can be deeply frustrating to someone who just needs tactical help right now. They can also appear passive during conflict simply because they see all sides and the ultimate unity, which might make others perceive them as naive.
Finally, let's wrap things up with Section 5, How Connectedness Compares.
To really define this strength, we need to place it side by side with contrasting traits. Notice how connectedness naturally accepts mystery, contrasting perfectly with the analytical need to prove the absolute truth. And while an includer actively looks for who is being left out socially, the connectedness individual is simply resting in the awareness of the invisible unity that they believe already exists among everyone.
The major takeaway here, it's that connectedness is motivated by understanding the invisible links between people, rather than relying solely on raw facts, systems, or immediate social structures. It's a highly spiritual, holistic, and perceptive lens through which to view the workplace. They aren't rejecting facts, they're just prioritizing the deeper meaning and the broader unity that those facts might point to.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to consider how you might empower the bridge builders in your own workplace to uncover those vital and visible connections that hold your entire team together. Look around your organization today. Who is naturally providing that calming wisdom? Who helps the team see purpose during confusing, chaotic times? Because if you can harness their unique perspective, you might just find the exact unity your team has been missing. Think about it. What invisible links are waiting to be discovered in your team right now?